My earliest memory is only because I know through the history books was when I was 2 years old. And that was one of the last airships that flew over. And the only reason I know was that age, because the last one that left this country and crashed in France, the R101, was on May the 30th, I believe it was, 1930.
So you were born, what, 1928?
That's right.
28. So that's a very early memory. Are you quite surprised you can remember that?
Well, I can only remember because it's so vivid in my mind.
See, there was no planes had flown then, had we?
Mm. And when, so what part of Grays were you born and brought up in?
I was born in South Stifford, in what was then West Street, but is now Cheltenham Street. I saw Palmerston Road built, if you know where Palmerston Road is. I've seen very, very many things. And I went to Stifford School.
The Grays Beachcombers are a group of litter pickers, of local people who come down once a month on the first Sunday of the month to come along and pick up the litter from the area in front of the beach park down in Grays, and we just come along and we might pick up 30 or 40 bagfuls of rubbish from the beach, and then we leave them for the council to collect.
How did this all come about?
Okay, so when I first moved into Grays, which was about 10 years ago, Thames 21 came along, who are an organisation that look after the river, and they were running a small litter pick in Grays once a year, and I noticed that there was probably a need for a more regular litter pick. So as I was coming up for retirement, I then got the people that had come down with the Thames 21 litter pick to actually give me their details, and then I contacted them afterwards, and we started the Grays Beachcombers.
Mike Osler, when did you come to Grays and why?
1974. I, at that time, was living and working in Bristol, and I was in theatre cinema management at that time in Bristol, and brother-in-law showed us an advert in one of the local government papers. Actually, he was in local government down there. Showed us an advert for theatre manager wanted for Thurrock, and I thought, I've always liked Scotland. I applied for that, and it was a bit of a shake. I arrived overnight. It was in April in '74, and I stayed in the Queen's Hotel of blessed memory.
So for those who don't know, the Queen's Hotel was where?
Well, it's just where next to, I was going to say, next to the Co-op store. And your question is?
From where was the Co-op store?
Right.
Eva, I first came to know you because you're a member of the Thurrock Writers Circle.
That's right.
Tell us about why did you join the Thurrock Writers Circle?
It's about 18 years now. I've been with them. I like writing, and I loved writing, and I got a divorce in which the actual writing part started before I got my divorce, and then I went from that to move out, but it got me through my divorce, just writing poetry and just putting down what I felt, and when I got here, moved in here, it was September 98. Yeah, September 98 when we moved in.
So the first pieces of writing, what type of pieces were they?
Poetry mainly, yeah.
What were the themes?
Themes were all sorts of things. There were things that were going on in my mind, in my head, that I didn't even think about. It came to me, I wrote it, and then passed it along.
Saturday's one of your busiest days. Why is that?
Saturday's our busiest day. I think more people generally are around to view properties, whereas we do periodic visits on our managed stock as well. Some people some tenants like to be in the properties when we come and inspect, which if it was me, I would be that way as well. So Saturdays we tend to book out our Saturdays in advance and try and accommodate obviously any last minute viewings as well. But even just for signing tenancy agreements, tenancy renewals. It just seems to be the way it is at the moment.
So tell us firstly a little bit about the Lightship Cafe and how it all came about.
Well, the Lightship Cafe is one of the projects that's run under the umbrella of the Riverside community. And the Riverside community is a group of local people that got given a grant from the National Lottery to improve the community within this small area. And they've got 15 or 16 projects that they actually run, the Lightship Cafe being one of them. I got on board with the Lightship just over a year ago now. We got the keys from the council because we rent the property off the council. We got the keys off the council the 1st of May last year, and we officially opened on the 26th of May, so we've just survived our first year.
And how's the first year gone?
It's been a really steep learning curve, it has to be said. Majority of our volunteers that we've got working in the cafe, they come to us through Thurrock Mind, Thurrock Lifestyle Services. So they're obviously people that have got their own specific issues. So we have various things that we've had to learn, because myself and my assistant manager have had to learn how to train people differently, how to deal with people that have got specific needs, and also how to run a project this big, because it is a project that has snowballed. Basically what we do is the project, the cafe itself is run completely by volunteers, and every penny profit that we make in the cafe, once we've paid all our bills, is being spent back in the park. We're reinvesting in the park.
Martin Kerrin, Wednesday night, just before 7 o'clock at Civic Offices. What do you do? You've got a meeting coming up.
Yes, Michael's full council, because fortunately the people of Grays Riverside have elected me twice now to represent them, and part of that representation, of course you deal with casework and you attend lots of community groups and things like that, but every month without fail in the full council, and with the other 49 other councillors as well, with my role being to be in the chamber and to put the point of view across that the residents of Grays Riverside want.
Do you have a typical working day?
Yeah, open up by 6:30, here nearly all day, might get an hour break if I'm lucky, my family all work here.
So you say family worker, how long have you been here?
Been here 20 years now.
And what made you, where did you come from, and what made you the decision to come here?
My uncle now, but he's passed away. I left college looking for work. We've had shops all our life. This one come on the market, totally refurbished it, totally changed it, and not looked back. Loved every minute of it.
I suppose I could ask you most people the question of when did you first come to Grays, but born in Grays.
Born in Grays, born and bred, 1984 would be the year I turned up. So born in Allset Hospital, so lived in, what's the name of the road now? Where Stanley's hairdressers is. Stanley Road. Stanley Road. Yeah, so I was born in Stanley Road when I was about 4, maybe 5, moved to Lawns Crescent, and then now I live over the road from the pub, so I've not moved far in my whole life, apart from 4 years I've done in Doncaster when I was a teenager, but that was working, I've done an apprenticeship over there. So.
And here we are we're at Signposts, this is in Crown House on Brook Road. Tell us a little bit about Signpost, your day-to-day job here in the heart of Grays.
So what we do is Signpost is set up in a deprived area, so it obviously fits the Thurrock category, and we generally get people back to work. But we also deal with the barriers that stop them getting back to work, so like mental health that may stop them. We write CVs, all sorts of things that go on here, really purely to get them back into that workplace. Confidence building, all the barriers that we can touch on and just get them back into that workforce.
What does that involved? How did it come about to involve in a community forum, and why? Why did you want to get involved?
There were some leaflets and flyers came round, and it was all a very new concept, community forums and what they was all about. We went to a meeting down at the school, and there was Treg, as it was known. It's now known as Engage. They were down there and they explained what the community forum was all about, etc. I thought, yeah, I want to know some of this, and get involved from the start. There was a chap, Dave Lawrence, doesn't live around here no more. He's moved to Norfolk, become chair, and it was really good, engaging with the community. One of our slogans was, we want to try and put the community back into the community.